I want to talk real quick about David Wilcock and the tragic incident that occurred a couple of days ago. So a lot of people are talking about it, obviously. And I just want to say I'm not a fan of David's. I used to be back in the day, but after 2012, I stopped listening to anything he said. And I know a lot of people around the world do or did follow him and are probably heartbroken by the news because by all accounts, this was totally out of character for him, for what he did, for what he stood for. And people are wondering, how could this man who would teach these specific things, do such a terrible thing? How could he just give up and just leave? Well, here's the thing, guys, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I figured out what happened to him. And it's not as sinister as the internet wants you to think it is. So he's being linked into this, these missing scientists, to the UFO researchers who are being taken out, and he's being lumped in with that. But I think that's a little bit misguided because what I think happened to him, it's sad, and it's a little bit more preventable than it would seem on the surface. So what do I mean by that? Well, when I heard what happened, I looked back at his latest video, like a lot of people have. They watched it and they're looking for signs. Was he depressed? Why would he do such a terrible thing? Did he say something in that stream that could have got him taken out? And people are, they're watching it and they're trying to dig and say, well, he said this, maybe this got him taken out. But everything he said in that video there's nothing new. It's already been said. There's no revelations. There's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing in that video that would cause, them to do a hit job on David. I think what happened is it's a little bit more sad. Okay, so here it is. According to the Boulder Sheriff's Department, there was a 911 call coming from David's house, and the man, who most likely was David himself, was asking for help because he was suffering from a mental health episode. And David didn't suffer from mental health issues. He never had any history of it. So a lot of people are saying it must have been a weapon. It must have been, they used something on him. If it even was a mental health episode, it could have all been a setup. It could have been a directed energy weapon. It could have been, hitmen. It could have been the deep state taking him out because he knew too much. But again, I don't think that this is likely. I think what actually happened is a medical episode. So go back, watch that video again, and you're going to hear him talking about how he's been having some health issues. He's talking about how he thinks he had type 1 diabetes. And also, he's been on this new diet, the keto diet. He's been doing, I think it was carnivore or keto, I'm not sure which one, but he was on the keto diet. Carnivore and keto are basically the same thing. So when you're on the keto diet, what happens is you stop eating carbs, and your body will start to produce ketones. And ketones is what your body will start using for energy once all the glycogen is out of your muscles, out of your liver, I should say. Because normally, when people eat carbs, your body converts that to glycogen, and the glycogen is basically just sugar that runs through your body and it gives you energy. It powers your brain, your muscles, your metabolic system, all of it. And without glycogen, your body will switch over to ketones. And, there's several people who have been doing this, influencers, whatever, and it's become popular. And I think that's what happened. I think David, he wasn't feeling well. He was having some health issues. And he heard online, and people have told him in his circle, hey, try this keto diet. It could help you. It could heal you. But here's the problem with that, guys. And it's just tragic because if this is true, it's totally preventable. And it's a perfect example of why you shouldn't listen to people on the internet. Or a perfect example of why you should talk to a doctor before doing some new diet. So watch this video. Watch his last video, I should say. Watch it. And if you're curious and you're wondering what happened, because he tells you, he gives all the signs that we need, I think, to uncover this, to play detective, to figure out what it is. And guys, obviously I'm not a doctor, but it adds up. It's logical. And I think it makes the most sense what I'm about to say. So what was it? How could these health issues cause David to basically do this terrible thing to himself? So yeah, he was saying he was having health issues, and he was being very specific in this video. He was saying that he was urinating a lot, like waking up every few hours or something like that, and urinating all night. And he was saying that his urine smelled like fruits. And unfortunately, guys, these are symptoms of type 1 diabetes, but they're also symptoms of ketoacidosis. And here's the thing, guys. If you have diabetes, and he thought he had diabetes, he was trying to cure it. He was trying to heal his diabetes with keto. And this is, unfortunately, it can be, and it seems like it was for David, a deadly thing that he was doing. So if you have diabetes and you get on the keto diet, it causes havoc in your body because your body isn't able to produce the ketones. Well, I should say it's not able to absorb or use the ketones, utilize them as energy efficiently. And what happens is the ketones that your body's producing from not eating carbs, they build up and they get to levels that are unsustainable, and it can be deadly, and it can also cause psychosis. So ketoacidosis induced psychosis is real. Look it up. I'm not going to put any links. I'm not going to put anything up on the screen. I just want to, if you believe me, or if you don't believe me, if you think I'm lying, look all this stuff up, guys. And like I said, I'm not saying that I have the answers, but what I'm saying is this is more likely, it's more logical than him being taken out by the deep state, because this is a real thing. Okay. He said in the last video that he was having these health issues, that he believed he was type 1 diabetic and he was trying to heal it. He was on the keto diet. And this is a combination. This is a deadly combination of factors that seemed to cause his break, his mental break. So if you are in ketoacidosis, the possibility of ketoacidosis induced psychosis is major. On top of that, it's not just psychosis. It's a reversible psychosis, by the way. So if he would have gotten help, if somebody that knew him in person would have been like, dude, go to the doctor, please. I'll take you. I'll drive you to the doctor. Get your insulin levels checked, because diabetes is no joke. Please. He might be alive today. I don't know. I'm not putting the blame on anybody. All I'm saying is I don't think he did it out of depression. I don't think he did it out of, losing hope and just wanting to leave this earth. I think he had a medically induced psychosis that wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault because people never told him. He probably never looked up. He was scared of his health. He was scared of having diabetes. So he probably never looked up how bad it could be for a diabetic to go on a keto diet. So he probably had no idea. And guys, when a person is in psychosis, they have no control over themselves anymore. It's almost like they're being taken over by somebody else or something else. It's not them. So if he really did do this thing, and if this body cam footage ever gets released, we'll know if it was him or if it was something else, if it was shady or whatever, because I think that this is what happened. I think that his diabetes, his keto, caused him to have a psychotic break. And it would have been temporary. It would have been fixable. It would have been curable. But it does cause extreme psychosis and paranoia and all these things. And to the point where that's probably what happened, right? It fits. He called 911 saying that he was having a mental breakdown. The police arrived, and that mental breakdown, it culminated in what happened. All right. So this is just tragic, people. But I wanted to make this video as kind of hope for some people, because I know most of you guys that watch my channel probably don't even know who David Wilcock is. But this might reach somebody who was like following David or who loved David and is totally heartbroken by what happened, because it's been shown, it's been proven that whenever like there's a person, a celebrity, I guess you could say, or somebody well known does this to themselves, it causes a backlash among their fans. And there's studies that show that high profile people who end their own lives bring people with them. Okay, I don't want to be too graphic, but it causes regular people, it causes the fans, it causes the people who read about it, who hear about it, it causes them to contemplate it for themselves. Especially if they've already been thinking about it, it could just be the thing that puts them over the edge. And that's heartbreaking, guys, because if this really was a medical incident, which it probably was, and by the way, if you guys are watching this, if you care, if anybody cares, call the Boulder, morgue, or whoever, the Boulder County morgue, whoever it is that has his body, and ask them to do a blood test, not a tox screen, a blood test to check for this ketoacidosis, because it should be detectable in the blood, and it should be something that they probably wouldn't even test for it probably. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but what I heard is they're going to do a tox screen, and that's it. They're not going to check his blood for like any type of metabolic issues, and that would be a metabolic issue, a severe metabolic issue. But yeah, I don't know, guys. This is just how I feel. And if you were watching David, if you were following him and you're heartbroken by this, let this give you a little bit of peace of mind, that he wasn't depressed, and he might have been a little bit depressed. He might have been like, cause everybody is, right? Who's not depressed? But to the point of doing what he did, I don't think so. And like I said, I haven't been following him since 2012. Like, I don't know what this guy's been up to at all. But what I do know is that it totally goes against and went against everything that I knew about him in the past. So, and everybody online saying that he wouldn't have done it. He definitely wouldn't have done it. This was, something else. And I believe that if he did do it, and it's looking like he did, if he did do it, it's not because of bullying. It's not because of depression. It's not because he just gave up and he didn't want to fight anymore. It was because he had a medical episode. And like I said, guys, a medical episode, it's no joke. It's extremely serious. And he would have had, if this is true, he would have had total loss of control over himself and over the things that he normally does. He would have felt like somebody else. He would have acted like somebody else, and it would have been uncontrollable for him. So, like I said, people, if you watched him and you feel sad about this, maybe it will give you some hope to have the thought in your head that maybe it was just a medical episode that caused this, because there's a big difference between having something happen to you medically that you have no control over. I mean, he did have control over it, but he didn't know. He probably had no idea that that was happening to him. He fit all of the symptoms for ketoacidosis to a T. And this is just sad because, like I said, it was preventable. But guys, this is just my opinion. Yeah, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong, but logically it makes sense. The only way people are ever going to know for sure is if somebody contacts the coroner or the morgue or whatever, and they do a blood test on him and check for these metabolic conditions. So if anybody watching this is connected with him, was connected with him at any point, see if you can get that done. See if you can have his blood tested, contact people. I don't know. But either way, guys, who knows what happened? This is just one possibility. And I think it's the most logical possibility. But again, I'm no expert. I don't claim to know what happened. This is just how I see things. So I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. God bless you all.